Do you get nervous before games? Do you get the sweaty palms, the increased heart rate, or maybe the racing thoughts, the doubts, stuff like that? Guess what? You're not alone. In today's video, we're going to talk about what does that mean for the brain, for the mind, what does that mean for the body, and how can we properly manage that so when we step onto the court, step onto the field, wherever you can perform at your best. I'm Coach Brett. This is episode 5 of Next Skills Monday. Let's get to it. So before we go into anything in this video, it's important that you understand this, that nerves, the jitters, that nervousness before a game is absolutely normal. It's something we all experience, and why do we experience it? Because essentially these feelings, this anxiety, this kind of feelings that you're about to feeling is actually your body telling you that what you're about to do is important. Right, so the game you're about to play, whatever you're about to encounter is something that you are concerned about. It's something that's important to you, you care about it, and that's all your body is communicating to you. That's why it's normal, right? So that's why we shouldn't be so worried about that. But really, it just comes down to how do we interpret that feeling and how do we manage it to our advantage. All right. So that's that. And I want to talk about how this can be, how this can come down to two different categories here. So what are the nerves? Nerves, it's basically an increase in your arousal for something that's uncertain, right? So your body's getting kind of alert because something in your future is something you're not sure about and something you can't predict. It's uncertain. Are we going to win today? Are we going to lose today? Am I going to do well? Am I going to accomplish my goals today, right? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go. That's all those nerves are. But we experience it in potentially two different ways, right? So we have adrenaline. Right, adrenaline is that drive, right? It's a drive towards a goal, right? It's that play-to-win mentality, right? You're going towards that thing with a sense of, intensity. Or we experience anxiety, and that anxiety is fear. And how do we end up playing with fear? Very protective, very preventative, very hesitant, doubtful, careful, right? And instead of playing to win, we're playing not to lose, right? We're kind of shying away instead of going towards that goal, right? So adrenaline or anxiety. But here's the trick. Both of those feelings are exactly the same. We experience them in our body exactly the same. Right? So if I were to say, do you like roller coasters? What kind of feelings do you experience on a roller coaster? Increased heart rate, sweaty palms, right? Short breathing, whatever it might be, kind of jittery feeling, but it's exciting for you, right? If I was to say, what if you were to go skydiving? What do you think you would experience then? Sweaty palms, increased heart rate, right? The same exact feeling. So whether it's something exciting, something fun, or something scary, a threat, it doesn't matter. Our body tends to experience the same exact feeling. So that's why the mental game is so important, because it's all about what happens in between your ears and how you interpret that situation. Right, so that's why it's important to understand we have the power before games to kind of frame the situation that we're in. Man, I'm feeling kind of anxious. I'm kind of feeling, jittery and stuff like that. Man, my body's ready. My body, I actually care about this. I have goals set out today. I'm ready. My body is excited. And I have the adrenaline, right? Keyword adrenaline that I need to be able to perform well today. It's all about how you frame it. It's all about how you view it. So that can be very powerful for athletes to discover and be able to kind of frame that in the way it's going to best benefit them. Okay, so we have those two things. Now, you might say, well, what? I still have these feelings, I still have these jitters, and sometimes they can kind of get out of control and kind of affect how I play. How do I manage that? Well, good question. Today we're going to be talking about routines and how using routines prior to performance actually can help us. And they actually have to be personalized and customized to you and how you play and how you feel prior to games. But two things that I think every player, doesn't matter what you do, what level you play at, doesn't matter, two things that must be included in your routine, and that is sleep, good sleep, and eating, right? So sleep is so important. Sleep is so important. So many things happen when we sleep. We get a good amount of sleep prior to a game, the night before, whatever the performance is. So many things happen when we go to sleep, right? Our brain is resetting, our body is recovering, right? All types of things are kind of just recharging, right? We need that prior to performing. And obviously eating. Food is fuel. If you don't see food in that way, especially as an athlete, there could be a problem there, right? Understanding that food is something that you need. It's incredibly important to make sure that when you step into the court, you've got everything you've got to be able to perform, to last, the stamina, the endurance, the energy, especially all that kind of stuff. It's super important. All right, so understand that you need to have that set. So now let's get into our routines. So first the question is, how do you like to approach games? Do you like to be hot or cold? hyped or calm. Right? We're all different. Sometimes, you have that teammate who loves to blast the music, have their headphones on, they're joking around, they're jumping around, they're getting hyped with their teammates. Then you have the other player who is in the corner. They're more isolated. Headphones still on, but they're kind of more calm, kind of getting their own moment, their own little world, getting themselves mentally prepared. Both of those are totally fine. It's totally okay, right? But it's got to match your style and what you want to do. So, and if you've been playing long enough, you probably know how you like to play. All right, so understanding that, you're going to be able to customize your pregame routine to be able to match that. So I'm going to list off a few examples of things that should be included in your routine. It's not a comprehensive list, all right? There's other things that could be involved, but I just want to give you an idea of what I mean by this. So first off, a routine is intentional and it's meaningful, right? So it's different than a superstition, right? I don't put on my left sock before my right just because I think it's going to give me some sense of luck or some type of vibe or something like that. No, right? Whatever you do for your routine has to be intentional. It has to be something that's actually going to impact your performance in a real way, right? It's a decision you intentionally make because you know it's going to get you physically and mentally prepared. So that's important to understand. So these routines could be, for example, like I said, the meal, right? The meal before your game, I would encourage it to be the same meal every time. Why? Because we have to understand that the meal we pick, again, it's fuel. It's going to give me the energy I need, right? It's not going to get me bloated or make me feel a certain way or help me. It's going to help me feel energized, right? And if I eat the same meal every time, then I'm sure I'm going to be able to depend on that, right? It's something I can control and something I can depend on to make sure I'm ready to go. Okay? Same with snacks. For me, I love to do beef jerky and a naked juice. That was my pregame snack all the time for my game, right? Because I knew it was going to give me that protein, right? It's going to make me feel energized, not drop me down, right? And all that kind of stuff. It was exactly what I needed prior to the game. Okay? Music. So music is common to a lot of different players. I think we all listen to it before games. Again, how do you want to play? Do you want to play hyped up? Then you understand that the type of music you pick's got to be in line with that. But I want to encourage you to pick the same songs, same playlist, or at least the same genre before games. We know that music influences our energy levels, it influences our mood, and if you've got a set mood that you want to be at, a set level of energy you want to be at, make sure you're targeting the right songs, the right albums, the right artists, the right genre at least, to make sure that that's consistent as well. Team stretches are something that could be a common routine for teams, but maybe stretches you do on your own prior to going to the game. That's also important for it to be routine, right? Obviously, physically, you're getting the same muscle groups. You're making sure your body is ready. It's also a time to mentally lock in, to mentally get yourself ready. That's important to be consistent. And this too, breathing and visualization imagery. I would say that this here, breathing and imagery, should be something that everybody does as well. But this is going to depend on, when you do it, it's going to depend on how you want to play. So if you like to play hyped up, I would encourage you to do this either the night before, the morning of, or hours before your match. If you like to play more calm, maybe kind of closer to the start of your match. But deep breathing and visualization is so important for any and every athlete. Especially imagery, right? You want to visualize executing and succeeding in different plays and different moves you want to do. You want to visualize yourself being successful that day. It's incredibly powerful, and so many athletes do it. It makes such a difference. But again, determining when you want to do that is important. If you're a coach and you implement this into your pregame routine for your team, understand that different players are going to want to do it at different times based on their energy levels. Okay? So that's kind of all I got for today. Kind of a short list, not comprehensive, just to give you a taste on what to do. But really, routines, 3 C's here. It's going to increase your confidence, it's going to help you get comfortable, and it's got to be consistent, right? When we play at home, a lot of times we feel kind of at ease, and sometimes we might play better, right, because we're used to the environment. But when we play it away, sometimes we might not play as well, right? The ball doesn't bounce off the rim like it usually does. I don't really like the turf. I don't like the grass. I don't like the locker room, right? There's different things that are just we don't like because it's not what we're used to. And that's the thing. Routine helps you to focus on what you can control. Your routine is within your control. It's something that's going to get you comfortable. It's something that's going to help you lock in, right? If you can focus on that, you'll be able to play great no matter where you are, no matter what circumstances are ahead of you, the different factors. It doesn't matter, right? How you prep yourself is going to be within your control. I'll leave you with this example. You might know a tennis player named Rafael Nadal. He has a pretty unique pregame routine. So he does 45 minutes prior to a match, he does an ice cold shower. And what does this shower do? People think it's a superstition, but it's not. It's actually very intentional for him. It shocks his senses, right? So it gets him locked into the moment, locks him in mentally, right? He's very present. Okay, not only that, but it makes him feel like like power and resilience is growing from within him, right? And that's what he needs to step into this match and go to battle, right? So it's mentally, it's a switch for him. It's a mental switch for him to kind of turn on. And then even minutes before his match, he actually arranges his water bottles in a certain way it's pretty unique and it's specific every single time. And people think that's a superstition as well, and it's not. For him to say, no, as I'm aligning these water bottles, I'm actually aligning my environment and my surroundings to match the order that I have in my own mind. Right? So it's like the smallest little details, the best athletes, the professional athletes, even the small details matter to them. And they use it all to their advantage. So I encourage you to think about this. What is your pregame routine? Is it intentional? You know, is it something that you're actually consciously doing? Is it actually benefiting you? Things to think about. How do you want to step into your game? How do you want to feel prior to it? And are you fearful? Right? Is it fearful energy? Is it adrenaline? Is it something that's actually helping you? Alright, things to think about. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm here to help. But I'll see you next Monday. I hope you're learning. I hope you're growing. I'll see you next time. See ya.